I guess we'll just get started.
Where's Todd at?
I don't know.
Is he
Todd's
coming?
chair is empty. The last time I saw him, though, was about 14 hours ago
Last
at
night.
the concert when he was on stage.
Yep. He was a party animal.
So all right, I hear somebody at the door. Nice pants. Nice pants, bro.
Did you just get back from the show?
All right, get in your chair so we can start.
Nice beer, bro.
Yeah, nice job.
Partying with rock stars.
You're supposed to be here like 2 hours ago. Thanks for helping me set up, bro.
Yeah,
Whatever,
good job.
man. Whatever. I had to party like a rock star.
All right, before he parties like a rock star, let's intro the show, and then we can talk about partying like a rock
How
star.
Todd's a mess.
Yeah. Jared Poland, FroKnowsPhoto.com. Welcome to episode number 157 of RAWtalk as we creep our way towards more. Because each week we add another week.
Yeah.
So the number goes up.
Woo.
So we got an interesting show. Let's start. We have an interview coming up later.
We do.
Let's start with Todd. What the hell is going on?
Well, I was out all night partying with Misterwives.
You literally just got in.
Because that's how I
Like,
do.
no joke.
That's how you roll?
That's how I roll. So I pulled an all-nighter.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, snap. I got to do RAWtalk.
Speaking of all-nighter, we filmed we recorded the interview earlier.
We did. We pre-recorded. We usually do with the interviews.
And you said that you heard snoring in the interview?
Yes.
What actually happened?
So what actually happened... Should I go there?
Yeah, go there.
What actually happened is Todd was here, and he basically came in and took a little cat nap, and I hear snoring over all the
I was
microphones.
partying
and
like
I'm
a rock star.
I'm listening.
Well,
I'm monitoring audio. I'm like, what the hell is that sound? Is there a dog or
Between
something?
Joe
And I
coughing,
lean over, and it's freaking Todd snoring.
Joe coughing, and Todd snoring. Anyway, so you want to talk about last night? So let's go into last night real quick.
Why were you there?
I was there shooting.
I can never get rid of you.
I was asked to go. Actually, I asked them if I can come spend the day taking photos, because that's what I like to do. Steven was actually there because he
You
was
actually
doing
take photos?
He was doing photos for Radio 104.5.
Yeah.
And then I was like, they wanted Todd to dance because Todd was in the music videos. So then I was like, you guys want Todd to come? And like, we'd love for Todd to come and bring your daughter and bring your wife. And so those of you who don't know, Todd was in both of the Misterwives music videos, Reflections and Our Own House. I'm in the Our Own House video myself.
You guys both had a huge role in that video.
Yeah, bro.
Todd had a bigger role.
Yeah, Todd. Yeah.
Well, obviously.
And most
as
of it got
should be.
most of it got left on the cutting room floor, thankfully. So they wanted Todd to come out and dance. So
He danced.
Todd danced. We've got video.
Not to that song though.
No.
No,
Which
they
we were
wanted
all
me to-
waiting for
yeah,
that
They
song.
wanted. I initially thought we would do it during that, but
Yeah, the song
they're
you
like,
were
no,
in
let's
the
do it
music
at the
video
very
for.
end. I'm like, all right, you know what? It's your show. Who the hell am I going to talk about? So I
Yeah.
was like, because it's cool if I hang in your dressing room and drink these freaking beers,
Which you did.
which I did.
But so I was shooting the show the entire time for, again, the radio station, and you were asking me to do some video of Todd dancing. So I'm there, that song comes on that you're in the music video for, and I'm like, okay, let me switch the video,
Todd's definitely
get it all
coming.
set. I'm perfectly centered on the second level, and I'm like waiting on the balcony, and nothing happens. And I'm like, oh, I guess he's not dancing.
Well, we can show the video right now over us talking.
Yeah. And
He
then
was shit-faced. He was shit-faced in the dressing room.
and then I
passed
switch
out.
back to photo mode and keep shooting away. And then you come on the last song of the end of the encore.
Yep.
And real quick, the middle of the song, I have to switch through and like get my settings right. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit, now Todd's coming out for the freaking dancing.
How'd it look?
Oh, it looks great. Totally out of focus.
How's it say? How's the
it's
focus?
blurry.
Is it really?
No, it's fine.
Oh, all right.
There's
So
absolutely some blurry parts.
so wait, hold on.
Because I
It's
switched
video.
real quick.
It doesn't matter. It's video sometimes.
And yeah, it's video. It's more forgiving.
Let's talk about the lighting, photography related.
Yeah.
This is a brand new venue,
was a mess.
$40 million venue. It's the one that's around
thought
the
it was
corner.
30 million, you
I know,
said.
but they said 40
Now it's
yesterday.
40.
50 million.
I don't know.
Oh, 50.
Is what I've
75.
whatever.
Why not?
I asked the Misterwives. I sent them a message. I'm like, you guys are coming to town. You're right around the corner from me.
Literally,
I want
yeah.
to take photos all day. What happened is the one guy in the band told the tour manager. Tour manager set me up. He's like, if he says good, we're good. Like,
Cool.
because he says it, we're good.
Yeah.
He, didn't go to management because he's like, I don't want to talk to management. Not that they don't want to talk to management. They just may not get it.
Yeah.
He's like, we know that this will benefit the band and your photos are great and we want to see best photos ever. We want to see.
Best photos ever.
We want to see. Shit.
You want to see the best photos ever?
No, not that. But they know that the band likes working with you, and you're gonna get some cool stuff.
Yeah.
So the show wise, like I spent all day with them, hanging out and doing stuff. But this new venue, you think it's possible that there's too many lights and it's actually too bright.
There was last night for sure.
They have one of the nicest, newest setups, and it's all LEDs, and LEDs are not very friendly to sensors. They told me there's a broadcasting mode, by the way, that will bring down certain levels, which makes it less of that blowout thing.
Yeah.
But the issues that the issues I kept running into was, even though she has a spotlight following her, because they brought those in, there is not, the spotlight is, say, a certain stop, and then the background lights are 3 stops or 4 stops brighter, so you can't balance it.
Yeah.
So you're either
a lot of
blowing
highlights
out the background, and then those lights are messing with your cameras because it's a higher stage.
Well, and the lights would like come and hit her, and then she'd have a streak of just super highlight blown out area or something.
Did you get some good ones though?
Oh yeah,
I got some. So what for me? The pit. Joe, shut the hell up. Will you?
Joe, I will punch you in the gizzard.
the gizzard.
I mean, 3 weeks. 3 weeks of coughing.
He's dying. He's actually dying, I think.
Anyway, now back to talking about Misterwives.
Yes.
Before we were interrupted.
So rudely.
So I started in the pit, or I shot some from the pit. I shot some from upstairs. I was having trouble getting good shots because she moves a lot. The lights move a lot. So the lights aren't even when they hit her, like you just said. But I think I got a handful of good things. Ended up sitting side stage because what's happening is all those bright ass lights are lighting up the backs of the artists, or if they're on stage, great lights, because now you're not shooting into the light.
Nice separation light, yeah.
Right. When you're shooting into the light from in front, that's when the sensors just don't pick, it's bad.
And I thought your Nikon would be a little better than mine, because Nikon tends to be a little better with those type of LED lights, but the Canon was having the same issue all night.
Yeah.
There was definitely a couple shots I definitely got, but I think one of my issues was her switching microphone, her hands.
Oh.
Her microphone would go from this hand to that hand, and to that hand to this, and just
and
nonstop.
she moves a lot.
So I would be like, this side of the stage, I'm like, oh yeah, she's holding it in the opposite hand. I can get that side. Nope, switches mic, same thing.
I stayed out of the pit, by the way, for the
Constant.
first 3 songs.
Yeah, well, that was my only chance to get in the pit, so I had to get there the first 3. Which, by the way, the girl next to me, the photographer, didn't have earplugs in, and that music was loud.
It was
that
loud.
night.
Well,
I don't
even
understand how you shoot a show without earplugs.
Even Sarah, Mandy's sister, doesn't have earplugs, and she's like, because I'm like, you need to just. She's like, they're too small. They don't fit. My ears are like
even
nothing
if you're
fits in my ears.
Back of the crowd,
I'm
you
like,
know?
yeah, you need. Get these custom ones. Have the tour pay for them.
Yeah,
because you need earplugs.
Yep.
I mean, she did the whole tour without earplugs. That's pretty bad.
Wow.
So anyway, I got some good stuff on stage of Todd,
Nice.
of the band. Waited up on stage to get Todd, which is cool because I figured that would be the best opportunity because I knew the pit wouldn't work. One, they have these stanchions at the band that they stand on every once in a while, which makes them taller, which means the stage is you're just shooting up their nose.
Yep.
And they had
Straight
wedges
nostril
everywhere.
shots. There was wedges everywhere on
If
the
you don't
entire
know,
stage.
wedges are these monitors
Yeah.
that literally point up so that the musicians can hear themselves. They're important. They are beyond important for musicians,
yeah.
but they're really not conducive for photos. I will say that the lighting, though, it's good for the fans, not so much great for the photographers.
To the human eye, it looks great.
Yeah.
But
What did
again, to
Mandy
the camera
call those
sensors,
stands,
not so
by
much.
the way?
The stands?
Ego steps.
Oh, maybe she said them to you.
Eco?
Oh, yeah, tell us the
Ego.
story.
Because they were green?
Wait, hold
Ego
on.
step, like those higher steps that the audience
Yeah.
or the performers step up
Yeah.
on. To
Let
get
me
a little
set this
higher.
up, Todd. Let me set
Yeah.
this up. So, talk about what's going through your mind when you come up on stage. What was the plan with you dressed like this with the empty beer cans? What were you going for?
Well, just the same character, obviously, but we they knew exactly how their show went. They do an encore. They dance with somebody. They do dance with somebody, and they said after that, then come out, boom, do your thing, stay as long as you want, do anything you want, and then we'll close out with you.
Well, but what was the act you were going to play coming on stage?
Todd was just being himself.
I guess just like, where am I? Like just drunk and disheveled.
Right, just
and
accidentally-
Which is if you see the video, that's the character
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
The character was the idea was that he was supposed to end up on stage and people were going to be like, "What? How did this? Is this a security issue?"
Oh, that's what they were trying to do.
That was the plan.
Oh. It
And-
didn't seem like that to me, but I
Well,
guess that's because
you
I knew about it. Yeah.
The people backstage, and I'll let you get back to it in a second, that we're talking to, we're like, who the hell was this guy and where's he coming from? So what happened?
I did put my pass on here, but I think it fell off.
I saw it. That
The
was
heat
on
of it
there.
all.
By the way,
so-
nice Old Spice shirt.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I like
So
it.
what happened? You come on stage, talk about the dancing.
I mean, I just start dancing hard, getting that cardio in. And I'm trying to give each band member some time.
I saw that, yeah.
So I can mess around with each one of them because they were all happy smiles. But
throwing
then I
your
couldn't
junk in
find
their
Mandy. I
face.
didn't realize Mandy went to play the drums, I guess, at that point.
Really?
And then she finally came down. But I was like, I'm definitely jumping up on this step. And then come to find out later, talking to Mandy, that they're called like ego steps or ego boost or something like that.
Well,
like they call them that because I guess it's for the ego
Well,
of the
crowd
performer.
started to go
We should
nuts.
get him some.
Oh, but yeah.
Oh, we should get one for the show.
They asked me if I wanted to dance too, but I was like, it's really Todd's thing.
Yeah.
And I need to shoot some photos.
I couldn't tell if they got it though. If they were like, "Oh, that's the dude from the music video,"
when you got up on the ego
or there's
boost-
a douchebag.
The other thing is they said nothing about you being on there. Like the band wasn't like, and if you guys didn't realize that was Todd from the video or nothing.
get
Like
no
you
love.
just got on stage and left. People were probably like, what the
I bet you some people were like, "Holy fuck!" There's just some random
Yeah.
asshole up on stage.
Totally
with,
looked like it.
with gold hammer pants.
All right, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Let's get into the.
Wait. We did have one thing backstage though.
Oh, so we're hanging
did you
out
have?
after stage. Yeah.
So we hung out afterwards. I changed out of these clothes, and then
Not when I got back there. You were still in those
Yeah, no, I
clothes.
hung out for a minute, and then all of a sudden we're hanging backstage in the dressing room, and then this drunk lady just stumbles in.
Stumbles in to use the bathroom.
She's like, "Whoa! I go to the bathroom, guys." And then we were all messing around like, we're gonna listen. And then she goes in, proceeds to stand there about 15 minutes.
She was.
So that's happening. Then she comes back. I said, "Oh God, I can't." And I was like, "Holy shit, it's fucking Taco Bell Becky." I can't believe
just
she's here.
unloaded in the bathroom.
And she's like, "Oh God, I'm sorry.
Well, she was talking about my hair.
I love your hair. I love it so much. I'm a new mom, by the way.
Wow.
So I have a
Classy
7-week-old, and it's my first night out, and I'm hammered. And I'm hammered.
This is true.
Oh my God, I love your hair. Can I touch your hair? And Jared's like, "No, you can't touch my hair. It'd be like me just touching your tits." I was like, "Whoa."
Actually, I think you
did
said that.
say that.
You said
I've
that
said that
before a couple
before,
of times.
but she
yeah.
was just coming to me drunk, and she was just like, I want to touch your hair." I'm like,
Every
that's the same.
drunk girl does that to
If
you.
you don't ask, that's like me coming up and just being like, ha, ha.
I mean, it's a little different.
No, it's
but
not different. You don't
It's
invade
personal
people's
space.
space.
It's personal
It's
space,
personal
but it's not that
space.
personal space.
You know.
Same thing. But
Anyways, that
Pump and
was,
dump.
and I mean,
Pump and dump.
Oh yeah.
she was like, I brought my pump. And
And
then
then
we're
she was
sitting
talking
there.
about she had her pump with her because she's got a newborn. Because I'm immediately thinking you're not breastfeeding
When you're
if
drinking.
you're hammered.
Wow.
And then she's like, "No, I brought my pump." I was like, "Cool, here's some bullet. You want another drink?" And then we started trying to figure out like, well, what's going on back there? Like, was she in there pumping in the bathroom?
Or dumping.
And then the girl
Or
that was there,
dumping.
she's like, "Well, they pump and dump. You pump it out and then get rid of it." So then you're
fresh
You
the
get
next
So then
day.
Todd went
you
in
get
there.
fresh milk
So you're not
later
expired
on.
the
Todd
next day.
went really quick into the bathroom looking for the dumped milk.
No, I mean I only licked the toilet a few times.
All right, let's move on.
Really sweet.
But that was fun.
God.
Show was a lot of fun. It was a great time. It was cool that all of us ended up actually being there.
Yeah, that was the first show. Actually, I think we've all been
Yeah,
together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so-
couldn't believe you brought Steven back. I mean, he never really
I had
passed.
all access AAA
I'm always
pass,
backstage.
man. I could
Way
escort.
more than you.
No.
I was allowed to escort
Wow.
anybody.
Best.
All right, so
Best
before
pass ever.
we get into photo news and get into the interview, let's talk about this is a no plug week in terms of we usually do 4 a month,
Gotcha.
but there's 5 Mondays this month, so we're just throwing an extra bonus to Atomos and Video Blocks. Video Blocks, you can still try out the 14-day free trial. We know that some people had issues with an internal server issue. That's because we kind of pushed a lot of traffic there really quick. So if you had that issue, you can still go and sign up for the 7-day free trial. No credit card needed, and you can get 1 download for 7 days. 1 download a day for 7 days.
I also
awesome.
saw somebody comment, someone complained about the whole internal server issue, and then someone comment below that on YouTube saying that if you don't fill out all the forms, that it gives you that error. So they just filled out like the nickname portion, not their full name, and it gave them that error. So
Didn't
that
know
might
that.
be an issue too.
And then the other is Atomos. We use that each and every week. We've
Yep.
got the Atomos Ninja Assassin
The new one, yep.
right here. We need to take it out on a real world review. They want us to do a real world review. We need to do a real world review
There's just-
anyway.
There's so many features that it has that we don't utilize.
We need to
That's
use it
the thing.
for the way that we would use it.
Yeah.
You know, take it out in the field and use it the way that we want to.
Honestly, we should give to Todd
good
for a
for a
week.
live event would be a great place to test it. Because I mean, that's when you want to use the DSLR at a live event. You're limited in your options. Ooh, maybe my next improv show.
Oh.
We could bring them out.
There you go. We
Pop
could
them
use
on
this
top
as
of
content.
there.
If you want, I can set it up and
Will
be
it
the
be in
production
focus,
guy, and
though?
Well-
it'll be completely blurry.
Well, hold on.
I
but-
mean, that's what I'm saying.
What we could do Yeah, it's on a Thursday, right?
It's the third Thursday of every month.
So that's coming up in a week? It's next
A week or 2 weeks, something like that.
So we'd
yeah.
have to do RAWtalk and then go there. That's not fun.
Oh, but what we can
Long
do
day.
is we can take a couple of the Atomoses. You can take the Shogun and the Assassin, and we can set up a couple of cameras so we can do multiple angles because Todd will edit it. But at least this way we can use it in the real world. We can do an intro. Like you could take an XC10 or something with me and we'll do, hey, we're here. We're setting this up. We're going to use this because really Todd needs to set this up on his own, and he's actually acting. So all he really needs to do is hit record because he can't reset it every 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
Exactly.
And so this is going to be beneficial to him, even if we take the original one, the $295 one. That will work well too.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And then last time I was trying to figure out how to get better audio. I was trying to figure out where I can mount the zoom, like in the space to get the best audio. And I think I might need to hang it like right above the stage.
I would say hang it directly.
you can
above
try
it.
that, or we can
XY.
try one of the micro. We can put a couple of them onto the cameras.
Yeah, we could totally
can see
do
if
that.
But
those
the
will
cameras are
work.
going to be really far back, I
True.
assume, right? I haven't been in that venue, but
it's
if
like
it's that far
it's
back,
a
you're
tight
going to pick up the
space.
audience more
It's a
than
tight
you're going to
space.
pick up him.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. All right, so those are Pluggy McPluggersons, just added bonuses. We like to throw bonuses in. You know how you throw added value to your clients at home? We're throwing added value to them as well because they've been good to us.
Yeah.
Photo news. Do I
do-
want to get into photo news?
Well, we need some music,
We
too.
need some music. Why don't we play? Well, we can't just play Misterwives.
No.
Why don't we do Todd
wouldn't like that.
dancing on stage, stumbling around photo news music from audioblocks.com/go/fro.
Okay. Sounds
All
good.
right. All right. And 3, 2, 1, go. And we're back. Good job, Todd. Thank you. I wanted to. We'll preface the interview when we get up to it.
Okay, that
After
works.
photo news,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we want to preface.
We'll do
It's a-
photo news first, interview, then come back for Gear of the Week and Wheel of Fro.
And Wheel of Fro.
Yeah, like we normally do.
All right.
First up, we got Facebook is working on new technology that will be able to describe photos to the blind. Now, Mark Zuckerberg says the new artificial...
like that. I like that. I like that
says
too.
the new
I like
artificial
that.
intelligence tech can now look at a photo, figure out what's in it, and help explain it to you.
I see a guy and a girl.
There's a person in the photo.
There's pain involved on her face.
He adds that we
She's
see...
got quarter-size areolae.
He says, we see AI as helping computers better understand the world so they can be more helpful to people. They can do this by training the computer. This is how they get that AI to work, showing example images like a dog and telling it what exactly it's seeing, a dog. Now you can see a video that Zuckerberg shared.
But you don't know what a dog looks like because you're blind.
Well, that's what I've wondered
It's just
too.
like you're blind, so you don't know color.
I guess it's
Well,
feel,
if-
though.
if-
I guess they
if you've-
interpret
if
shapes.
you've not
in their-
always been blind,
Well,
Well,
it
that's
would,
different.
it would probably work really good. But if you've always been blind, you're going to be like,
a dog.
what do you-
I need to
I don't
feel
know.
it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they felt a dog before.
Yeah. Well, okay, true.
I don't know.
you can
Now
just say
you can
there's
see
a dog and you'd be like, oh, all right.
Now,
Right.
Zuckerberg posted a video that he shared that shows off the new tech over on the website. It's basically they showcase the AI to a couple blind people where the Facebook app literally speaks to them, explaining the photos. So when they pop up a photo, it says things like, this image may contain outdoor, cloud, foliage, plant, and tree. There's another one that says, this image may contain 6 people, child, close-up. It's still not there yet,
Oh,
but
that's
it's getting
cool.
there.
So it's like the
fascinating.
descriptive movies. If you go to the movie
Exactly.
theater
Yeah.
and it has description,
Oh.
because most movie theaters you can get headphones, specific headphones. If you're hearing impaired or if you're seeing impaired, they have movies where it's explaining to you, you know, like the door opened and they walked in slowly.
Yeah.
Or what's going on in the scene.
Now, it will be able to give a full description soon enough, though, they say. Facebook AI Research Director Jan LeCun says, in the future, we'll be able to give a complete description of the image. We have systems in the lab that are able to do this, and they will be deployed over the next few years. So I guess it'll be full descriptions coming soon.
Another thing Todd was talking about, you've been playing PlayStation with some readers?
Oh, yeah, I was talking about that
That's all
last
he
night.
does. He edits the guide.
Yeah.
AKA
yeah, I'm
plays
editing the
PlayStation.
guide, killing Crota and Oryx.
So take a couple seconds, give the shout outs to the people.
One dude's from London. His name's Grey Warrior. Shout out to him. He is a
Warrior.
cop
Oh.
and a photographer.
Cool.
So he's a cop now, but then he takes photos and he's trying to build a business as a photographer. What I find fascinating is, we talk to these grown men, play video games, but then I actually kind of find out a little information about like who the listeners are. Fascinating. And then another guy, L Boogie. And there are like numbers associated with their names, like L Boogie 535. I can't remember all that.
What's your? If people want to find you on PlayStation Network,
I am Todd, ITOD. I actually saw a listener tweeted like, "I'm so excited. I am Todd Wolf. Accepted my PlayStation request." And I looked at the picture. And I'm like, "Yep, that's not me, dude."
Why did you choose ITOD and not TODD? Was that already taken?
Because it was like iPod.
Oh, Todd.
Because that was hot in the streets back in 2006. That's how long I chose that name. I was like, that's really clever.
So you are having people that listen to the podcast play you.
Yeah, we're definitely playing. Sometimes
cool
guys are jumping in and
do you find it to be more of a younger demographic or really old people like you?
So far, it's probably skewing a little more older. Probably like 30s, working, married, things of that nature.
That's cool.
Yeah. So shout out to those guys, and if you want to play some Destiny with me, cool. No need to get the editing guide done.
Asshole. It's already into November and it's not out.
Well, I will say, we were talking about
It'll be done by September. I swear.
We were talking about
November.
it not like a day or so ago, and it's looking like it's going to be maybe a 10-hour guide.
10 hours. That's just insanity.
Because you got to keep in mind, we talk for 2.5 hours about.
It's great to learn all
about every detail of editing processes. And then just one session of us sitting and doing some of these basic techniques on a video is another 2 hours.
So
That's
it's really
one more thing.
Wow.
But it is like you watch this guide, you should have the framework to go edit in the future.
Anything. It's like you sitting down with me and watching my process and you asking me questions like, well, why are you doing that? And then I'll be like, oh, you know what? Here's a good tip. I do X, Y, and Z because of these reasons. And it's not button pushing. Because that's what the help button is for in your menu.
Right.
Like, where's this button?
You're teaching theory.
You figure that out. We talk about exactly how to get the best technique and story into the video.
Well, we're going to have to come up with a price for that, Todd.
Like $1,500?
It's funny because it's probably worth it. But we're not going to do that.
The best part is that, the other guides that you were in, people really didn't know this side of you, like the clown side that you are on the podcast. And now you're going to go back and be all
everybody's out
serious
running and buying even the DSLR video guide right now, like, oh, Todd's so damn funny. Not funny at all in that.
It's like completely
Very
serious
serious.
Todd.
1/1000th.
Very proper.
If you're looking for Taco Bell Becky in any of these guides, you're going to be
Not gonna
sadly
be in there.
mistaken
Well,
and upset.
that's the thing that we have. We have the fun
best
times
of
that we
both
do,
worlds.
and we have the business side.
Yep.
I want to be a Toys R Us kid, and I never want to grow up, but I still want to be business. All right, back to photo news.
Next up, wedding videographer Mendel Mish combines both a self-balancing scooter, those like mini Segway
All right,
scooters.
the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, I love it.
The scooters, you're saying?
Yes, pretentious much to go into a freaking wedding and be on a freaking scooter?
But he basically combines this scooter with a camera to provide this like smooth cinematic look to his wedding videos. In the video,
Until he falls into the cake and knocks up somebody, then we're in trouble.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I feel like you could put rollerblades on instead of doing something like this, where you have a little more control if you wanted to add some kind of motion and not having the luxury of like a dolly or something like that.
It's just pretentious.
But anyway, for those that don't know about this video, which you can see on the website, he's seen filming a bride twirling around her with the scooter while filming. Something you really could never do on your feet. Now, the video also contains the resulting...
You can walk around with a steady cam.
You could.
You get a stabilizer.
You could,
and see,
but not as steady, I think, as he has it in that video.
Bullshit.
I think you can get
No,
steady.
You're gonna
I
have
think
a
you
steady
definitely
camera,
can,
that's different.
But I think that thing limits you because you've obviously got to be on a flat surface, no steps, no incline, no grass, no
Of
nothing.
course.
So it's one of those things that I still think a better solution is to have some sort of steady cam.
Yeah, I assume that he's not using this the entire wedding. It's only
Well,
for certain
yeah.
shots and the formal stuff. And
You can see the video at FroKnowsPhoto.com/RAWtalk-157.
yeah, it has all the footage, which if slowed down, I think would look pretty neat, but it is just in real time. You can see the footage on the website. But again...
Nothing like being the center of attention
Exactly.
at the wedding.
Exactly.
Yep.
Douchebag.
I
Look
agree.
at
And
this
like
guy.
you
Which
said,
is what?
if you happen to fall or lose balance and you're not
Imagine
perfect
you
at
hurt
using this
somebody.
thing-
Dude.
Your liability. I don't even think there's
Yeah.
liability coverage for mechanical usage of that stuff.
Yeah.
Run over the bride's toe before the honeymoon.
Not even
You
the
know what I
toe.
mean?
Run over her dress and see what happens.
Terrible.
Manish?
Yeah.
You, sir, you shouldn't be doing that. I cleaned it up.
Moving back in time to older tech now.
Going back in time.
Photographer Jesse Chahak took the selfie stick idea and applied it to his large format camera. He's calling it the large format selfie stick, or LFSS for short.
Wait a second. LMFO? She looked like the girl from Abercrombie and Fitch. New kids on the block, had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch. I'd take her if I had one wish, but she's been gone since that summer. Lucy and Boogie said about your booby.
Always take it too far, every time.
Joe, you ever heard of LMFAO? I mean, shit. LFO?
Yeah.
That was the band, LFO.
Yeah.
You know what I was saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, this new selfie stick.
I like girls that wear
Here we go. Moving on.
It consists of a 4x5 press camera, an 8-foot long pole, which it doesn't really look like a pole. It's really just a giant stick. Yeah, pretty much. And a shutter release cable. Now, he's exposing the images with sheets of Polaroid Type 55 film that they don't sell anymore, by the way. And you can see some of the resulting shots over on the website. Kind of interesting, but
Kinda
ridiculous at the same time. If only Ansel Adams did this. Now, combining the new and old again, photographer...
Are you going to talk about nutscaping?
No.
All right, good.
You can if you want.
There was this whole thing going around where people are hanging their nuts in landscape photos.
I didn't actually check it out because it says I had
What?
to log into an F-Stoppers account to look at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because it's not
'Cause it's
NSFW.
NSFW.
It just... People are hanging their nuts and taking landscape pictures with their nuts in the top of the picture, called nutscaping. Oh, that's you?
Todd is actually behind
All right.
that entire
You found my
project.
pictures?
So that they can find that on F-Stoppers?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If you want that, you can find that on
Yeah.
F-Stoppers.
Photographer Matthew Stern took a 105-year-old lens off a 1910 folding camera and mounted it onto a new Sony a7 II body. He attached the lens by using an M42 lens mount, which then attached to bellows to acquire focus. He then used a lens adapter to attach it to the actual Sony body. Now, he says the lens is incredibly sharp for a 105-year-old lady, but it also gives some strange lens flare and light leaks that are pretty dreamy. He's got
What's
a video
he doing
showing...
with a 105-year-old lady?
What?
You said a 105-year-old lady?
That's
He's
what he's
talking
calling
about the
the
lens.
Oh, I thought it was that lady from Japan. He was getting some side action.
He's got a video, though, showing the lens off along with the footage from it and sample footage all over on the website. You don't know what he's talking about?
No, what's he talking about?
Remember the news story a few weeks back? We had a photojournalist that
Thanks for
turned
listening
like
to the show.
Oh, the
100
photo
years
journalist.
old or
Yeah, but she wasn't
something.
105.
She was 100-something.
Well, because you said 105. Lil would have been 105 on October 30th this year.
Wow.
Yeah, she died a year ago, so she would have been 105.
Wow.
Wow.
A woman is divorcing her husband after only about a year of marriage. Now, the
Oh my God.
odd part about this is that she's citing her husband's obsession with photography as the cause. The divorce application status states that a woman named Miss Chien accused...
Wait, spell that?
Chien, or Chien.
Chian.
Shiam.
Shian.
Shiam.
Shia.
Shiam.
But she accused her husband, Mr. Kai, of focusing so much on taking...
So what you're saying is they're Asian?
Yes. Of focusing so much on taking pictures that he lacked empathy towards his family and friends. She says he took his obsession to an unhealthy level, photographing at inappropriate times all the time.
Oh, hey.
Now, some examples
Hi,
that
my
she
name
lists.
is... What's the
Honey,
guy's
you
name?
about to wipe your ass
Mr.
after
Kai,
that shit?
C-A-I.
Hey, Kai. Hey, Miss Chen.
Yeah?
You're about to...
I'm taking a deuce. Get out.
I need the perfect shot.
I'm pumping and dumping.
Wait, hun. Hun, that's a long one right there. Let me take a shot of that and put it in the baby album.
It's about 9 Keurigs.
That's a foot longer right there. Let me take a shot of that before you flush her.
Wait, we should send that to Squatty Potty.
I just got one of
But
those.
some of the examples that she actually lists, one of them is when their son was receiving a vaccination injection, the doctor was asked to administer it twice to allow Kai to get a good shot.
Wait, administer it twice or make pretend that he's
They
doing
said
it twice?
administer
Oh,
it
give me a
twice.
freaking break.
So I don't know if it was
Don't
make
give me a
pretend or not.
break. Give me a break.
Now, when the couple also woke to their son crying at 2 a.m., she says her husband insisted on pulling out his camera and tripod first instead of actually taking care of the
The
kid.
tripod?
Yeah,
Get the light set up.
pretty much. The kid's like
Hold
crying.
on.
Kid's suffocating in his blanket.
Hold on. This is a good picture.
And he apparently, going back to what you guys were just talking about, he
Apparently.
also saw opportunities for close-ups when his newborn son was either peeing or picking his nose.
Or dropping his first deuce.
Or dropping his deuce.
Yeah, you got
Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy, I got a turtle head popping.
Baby turds, let me get 'em.
Daddy, look at this.
A deer photobombed a newborn portrait shoot.
female.
Having held the shoot outside for a fall look, photographer Megan Ryan spotted the deer
Meg
and
Ryan?
took the shot. Megan Ryan, Rion.
Oh, okay.
Now, the
Love Meg
curious
Ryan.
deer crept up to the 1-month-old boy named Connor, getting as close as about a foot away.
I will eat you.
Now, the outdoor shoot took place in Sam Houston Jones State Park in Louisiana. Now, apparently the deer was hand-fed when she was young, earning the name Maggie. So she's very comfortable with people. She's known to be photobombing people's images as well, especially the
I'll eat the
photographers.
shit out of Maggie.
So much that she even put together a whole Facebook album, the photographer, of this deer photobombing all her shoots that she does at the state park. She
Oh,
says...
my bad.
She says...
I thought you wanted me to shoot the deer. You said shoot the deer. Shoot the deer with Connor. My bad.
Well, why don't you play the game where you punch the deer in the face?
What game is that?
It's where you walk up to a deer and punch it in the face.
In real life?
That's what they told me, yeah.
No way.
She says, Maggie has a reputation for it, and parents even request that she come to shoots, but I let them know there's no guarantee. However, she says she always keeps a hand near the baby because Maggie is a wild animal. Now, you can see the behind-the-scenes video of the deer approaching and the final images over on the website if you want to see Maggie photobombing this baby's picture.
Maggie,
and the whole
come here.
Facebook album as well.
Maggie,
Filled with her.
I'm hungry.
God. A new book called Picturing Frederick Douglass reveals that he was the most photographed American
Let me pre-order that.
in the 19th century. The book notes that neither George Custer nor Walt Whitman, and not even Abraham Lincoln, was the most photographed American of that century.
We have a bridge called the Walt Whitman Bridge.
We do. Now, in fact, it was Frederick Douglass, the ex-slave turned leading abolitionist. Douglass was apparently in love with photography too. Now, the book says, during the 4 years of Civil War, he wrote more extensively on the subject of photography than any other American, even while recognizing that his audiences were riveted by the war and wanted a speech only on this mighty struggle.
And Frederick Douglass, for those you don't know, is an African-American guy. So that's pretty cool that
He
he's
had
one
gray
of-
hair too. Way better than yours.
He did have pretty
He
good
did have
hair.
great
He did have
hair.
some sweet
Yeah.
hair.
He
Like
has
Doc
some-
Brown hair almost.
Yeah.
Money!
Now it goes on to say he frequented photographers' studios regularly and sat for his portrait whenever he could. Now, in total, there are 160 surviving portraits
Wow.
of Douglass, which are in this book. They were taken between 1841 to 1895.
It's awesome.
And the book's now available on Amazon for about $32.
Now, only if the book that we talked, the photos we talked about last week from Ellis Island,
If they put a
it was
book together with
people,
that, yeah.
humans of Ellis Island.
Did they take pictures of his food at every meal?
Now, there are captions, too, that go along, which is like a Humans of New York type thing
Yeah.
with each picture, so it's not just a picture book.
Speaking of Humans of New York, it did land on the bestsellers list
New York
at
Times.
the top New York Times bestseller list
Insane.
for a full week.
Good for
Which
him.
one? What, the Humans in New York?
Humans
book?
of New York stories. I remember when the first book came out, my complaint and gripe about the book, other than the printing, was that it didn't encompass the stories that made the whole thing worthwhile. It was
Sure.
just the photos.
So you're like, what's this picture
So
of a random woman?
yeah.
The
What's the
second
story
book that
behind her?
came out now encompasses the stories.
Well, that's the most riveting part.
Which, by the way, we need to get him on for an
I
interview.
keep trying.
I know we've been
but
trying
He's
for
very
a while.
busy.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
very big with 14 million followers on Facebook. He's huge.
Does he know I'm on the show now, though?
Yeah, that would go well, Todd.
Canon put together an interesting experiment. It's called Decoy, which details the power of perspective in photography. Now, ask 6 photographers to take portraits of the same man, but tell them all something different about his background. That's what they did. Now, the photographers were told that Michael, an actor in real life, was a self-made millionaire, someone who has saved a life, an ex-inmate, a commercial fisherman, a psychic, and a recovering alcoholic. Michael did his best to take on each personality. When they did the photo shoot. Now, you can see in the video, which again is over on the website, it documents the whole shoot, how each photographer, they're each trying to pretty much get to know him and talk to him and, see what he's like, really find out how to portray him in a photo. Now, the alcoholic portrait isolates him, showing like a wide
Wait, it
shot.
looks like Todd?
Pretty much. But it shows like a
What?
wide shot of him in a very empty room. The millionaire is an intimidating close-up portrait with him smiling. The convict is like a dark and gritty
Sounds
photo
huge.
with him staring at the camera in like a mean pose.
That's cool.
It's really interesting. Now, Canon says, in quotes, a photograph is shaped more by the person behind the camera than by what's in front of it.
We have the ability to tell any story we want
really do. We really do.
just by changing an angle.
Yep.
in 12 12,800 eyes.
Exactly.
But cool stuff. One of my favorites this week. Next up, we have photographer Simon Schaffrath. He didn't want to do those cliche maternity photos that some people do. So he turned his wife's pregnant belly into different mini landscapes. He says, it's pretty cool. He says he worked on every photo for about a week. He first sketched out each image and considered the angle of light that would be used. Then he photographed himself in the same fashion in order to place himself into each image as a different character on his wife's belly.
So wait,
Yeah.
did he actually physically put stuff on her and made her like sit there, or he did this in like Photoshop?
Did he green screen her belly?
Let me finish this
Okay.
before we get into that. Now, he then took those tiny portraits of himself and what looks like pieces from like a train set, like little trees and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And he also took some body paint to really make the landscape come to life. And he used Photoshop in the end to composite some of it like himself in there. So it's basically this landscape like mountaintops. And then him in there on like the mountain, and it's really his wife's belly.
I feel like that's probably the lady that divorced the photographer because
Took it a little too far.
sorry, hon, I used Gorilla Glue on that tree right there.
But for example, like he made her belly look like an island. Her breasts look like mountaintops.
Well, they already probably did.
Her belly, a golf course with her belly button being like the.
Oh, that's funny.
all-in-one.
These are on the website?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I can go look at these on
You
our
can go
news
look
That's
at 'em.
awesome.
I got to check that
It's
out.
crazy.
All we got was the plaster of Paris thing.
It's
I
just-
use it as a chip and dip, chips and dip. I got chip and then I got salsa and cheese into two separate ones. Yeah, it's amazing.
You mean in the boobs? Get
yeah,
the,
in the
boobs
mountaintops?
The
Yep,
chips?
salsa, cheese, chips.
And you-
Win-win. I sit there
Perfect.
on Saturday night and I'm in heaven.
He says, in quotes, "We got the ideas for the messages for our son, and so we considered what would match as far as landscapes go." So some of their sayings that they wanted to match these landscapes with are, "You can reach everything." That's the mountain climber that he has. "You will find your way" is the snowboarder he has. You will also enjoy the moment, and it's the sunbather on the lonely island. And there's also one, "Know your goals," and that's supposed to be the golfer on the golf course.
Yeah, golfer.
I can't imagine the wife being that patient.
Well, yeah, basically they said they spent each Sunday doing this photo shoot, and then he would take about 3 days to edit the photos from the
Sunday.
shoot.
When my wife was
Sunday.
that pregnant, I just remember her always telling me to get off her.
Now, fun fact too, while shooting, the baby often kicked inside the wife's belly, so the paste got some cracks, and they had to repair the landscape all the
that's
time
awesome.
as they're doing the shoot.
Stay still! God damn it, you will stay still in there!
Hey, speaking of babies being pregnant, that reminds me. People being pregnant. That reminds me of you having
Babies
Wu-Tang
being
beer.
pregnant.
You know how people put headphones on their bellies?
Oh, yeah,
tell us the origins of Wu-Tang beer.
Last night at Dock Street Beers, which is the brewery around the corner from my house,
Yeah, yeah.
they had Wu-Tang beer where they played Wu-Tang into the beer for like 3 months. And then guys from Wu-Tang came out last night to...
No way.
Yes, I think Inspector Deck was there or somebody.
my God.
And because as I was going to the Misterwives show,
That's
I pulled out
awesome.
and I drove. I was like, oh,
That's so funny.
shit.
Aged with
'Cause
pure Wu-Tang music.
Boom was there. The old school hip hop radio station had their truck out front.
Boom 1079. What kind of car does Boom 1079 have?
It was an SUV of some sort.
With big
I don't know
rims?
the brand though, but you know, it had all the wrap around it.
All right, Boom 1079 is a
Boom
local.
1079.
It's old school. It's old school hip hop.
It's awesome.
It's
The
actually
greatest radio station I've ever
it's
heard.
a
cool,
really
yeah.
good station,
Yeah.
except for the audio compression is pretty bad.
It's really bad.
But
yeah.
if you can find
The
it
processing.
on the web on the internet, listen to the commercials. Big Al, you were saying Big Al's like, are you in a fall? Have you been in a fall? Have you been in an accident? Call Big
Big
Al. Big Al will
I'll
get
hook you up.
Now, next up, Sony has announced a new A-mount camera. It's called the Sony A68 or A68. Now, the new camera features 4D focusing, which uses 79 autofocus points, the world's highest among interchangeable cameras with dedicated phase detection AF sensors. Now, Sony says the 15 cross points and a dedicated f2.8 point help provide fast and accurate tracking autofocus that performs well even in lighting as low as -2 EV, where other cameras struggle. Now, other specs include a 24 megapixel APS-C sensor, it shoots 8 frames per second, ISO range of 100 to 25,600, perfect for your 12,800.
That's my sweet spot. That's my sweet spot.
We better get one of those for Todd.
That has in-body steady shot image stabilization. And currently,
I already ordered my Segway, so I don't need the steady
you got
shot
the Segway
anymore.
and this.
And yeah,
12,800 on a Segway.
I don't really need
Perfect.
it now. Yeah.
It's only available currently in Europe, or it will be available in March for about $650. Now, pricing and availability for the U.S. has yet to be announced, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a worldwide camera. Pounds, it's like 600 pounds or something like that.
So it's a lower end. It's an under sub $1,000 SLR. The reason we're talking about it is because a couple weeks ago they were like, we're not going to support the A system.
Yeah,
or
they pretty
we're
much
not going to
said
make anything.
they're going to be, it's dead in the water kind of thing.
And so this is an A mount system.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We'll have to see how it works.
Yeah. And then we have one last story this week.
Thank God.
8-year-old boy named Lake Bosman, who lost his battle with leukemia back in May. He's being remembered in one family's wedding photos. Now, the boy's mother, Anna Bosman, married her now husband, Travis Thompson, last month, just months after Lake's death. Now, feeling like her wedding wouldn't be complete without her entire family by her side, Bosman knew she needed to make something happen. Now, she says, in quotes, although I felt his presence that day and I was actually happy, it was almost unbearable to take pictures without him. Family pictures, that is. Now, however, her photographer, Brandy Angel, was able to have a picture made with her entire family, including him. She superimposed an image of her late son into the formal family portrait, taking the opacity down quite a bit, too.
Wait, to make him look like a ghost?
Pretty much making him
all right, because
appear
I was
like
going to say,
ghost-like, yeah.
I was going to say, if they did it the other way where they made it real, then I would have had a problem with
Yeah.
it. But being that they ghosted it, I'm okay. I'm like more okay with that.
It's kind
than
of
if-
acknowledging the situation.
And, and
Right,
he's smiling, too. It's not like he's like
Right.
a ghost-like
nice.
character.
No,
you know?
but it's the opacity thing. Yeah.
Now, Bosman loved it. She says, they turned out beautifully, and thanks to my amazing photographer, she was able to get some special edits done. I needed this picture more than she or anyone could ever know.
Wow.
And that's
Yeah.
what happens when you don't shoot at 12,800.
Yeah. But it's kind of ironic, too, that her photographer's name is Brandy Angel.
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
Don't you think?
It's like rain
On your wedding
day. The free ride when you already paid. The good advice, like you just don't take. Who would have thought it figures? It's the 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary of that?
Of that song?
Of the
Not
album.
25th? That'd be 1990. That's...
Dude, that
was
thing,
it that? Is
yes,
that old? I thought it was like 95.
Yeah, so 20th.
20th, yeah, okay.
20th, yeah,
I
anniversary.
can believe that, yeah.
It's also like the 20th anniversary of Cypress Hill. Black Sunday.
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. I remember my brother, that was like the first CD he ever got.
Really?
Was that thing.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like, wait, one of the songs, does one of the songs have something to do about staying at the Holiday Inn on that album? I don't know. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
No, isn't that...
If your friend starts acting up, then you take... No, there was...
Yeah,
Yeah,
why did I think that
pretty-
was R.
yeah,
Kelly or
yeah.
something?
No, it's not. That's way back old.
Kelly,
but
did
no,
you
there was... That has nothing to do with R. Kelly.
What is Hotel, Motel, Holiday Inn?
Well, obviously
Who sings that?
that is a
Sugar Hill Gang?
Sugar Hill Gang
But they
lyric,
sampled it.
But it's also used.
I don't know anything about
You're probably talking
this
about
genre.
Dr. Dre or
No,
one
I
of them.
really think... Look up Cypress Hill's that album and see if there's another song. Anyway, we'll move on. Photo news.
That's it for photo news, yeah.
Why don't we do...
We got to roll out with something.
What do we want to roll out? You see me rolling and
On
rolling.
my Segway,
People
taking
try to
photos
catch
all
me
around
taking
the
photos
block.
dirty.
Was that your
all right,
foot?
we should do, if we were that wedding photographer on the Segway, how would we be taking pictures? Or video?
Afro Circus,
Just-
Afro Circus, polka dots, polka dots, polka dots, Afro.
And here we go with ending music right now. All right, thank you. audioblocks.com/go/fro. Thank you for the photo news.
You're welcome.
What we have right here, I'm going to preface this. Prefacing the interview.
Preface this.
Matt Beck is back.
He's back.
Don't know Matt Beck. He has a YouTube channel called Free Salon Education.
Welcome
website.
back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Did anybody say
Wow,
you could
really?
sing?
Yep.
Since when are you allowed to fucking sing on this show?
Screw you guys.
Stop interrupting Jared for once, all right?
You're a dick.
Jeez.
FreeSalonEducation.com. Now, I had him on episode number 80. So you can go FroKnowsPhoto.com/RAWtalk-80, I believe, and
It
you
should
can
be that,
see
yeah.
that episode where I brought him on because he had 30,000 subscribers on YouTube at the time in 8 months. And his whole
Wow.
thing was he followed my lead and what I do. He wasn't a photographer, but he learned how to shoot photos, start to figure out video and audio and stuff. and started making his own videos. Well,
And
now
knew nothing about cameras,
and
really.
knew nothing about
Yeah.
cameras, and now he has 150,000 subscribers and it's
Pretty remarkable.
turned it into a major one. It's benefited his business, as you're going to hear soon. It's added a lot of revenue to the bottom line. It's given him a lot of credibility in the world that he is in. And so I want to tell you that this interview is twofold. It's me doing an update and interviewing him, asking him questions about his business and how it's going, and then opening it up to him to ask me questions. It kind of works both ways. Like, he's interviewing me, because when we did that first one, it was a lot of, you know what, this is marketing. I want you to ask me all the questions you have, and I'm going to tell you how I think you should brand and market it for making it go bigger. So now I can definitely see a change
took that
in him.
advice, yep.
He feels, with 150,000 subscribers and big time jobs coming and lots of sales of certain things, he's really heeded the advice that I've given, and obviously created his own path too. Not just me. I'm not the reason he's successful.
Best advice ever.
He's been able to take the advice and make it work for him. And so I wanted you guys to hear his updated story and see if that can benefit you in any way. Now, he's not a photographer, but just like your friend that you were playing PlayStation, who's a cop, who's getting more into photography.
Gray Warrior.
What'd he say?
Gray Warrior.
Gray Warrior.
That's his name.
Maybe there's something there that he could institute that could help other cops if he started making videos related for them, or taking his photography to another level. That's what it's all about. So here's the interview with Matt Beck from now, where he went from 30,000 subscribers to 150,000 subscribers. Let's get to the interview.
I also watched your show, by the way,
Which one?
with my wife. We sat down, we watched it on a TV.
You watch our
Your
show on a TV?
Show. No, your TV show.
Oh, the TV show that we're
you
putting
sent
out.
me, yeah.
What'd you think?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah?
Even my wife liked it, and she doesn't like anything.
What'd she think?
She
Wait,
said
she
this
likes you,
looks like
though.
a TV show.
Yeah.
She kind of likes me.
She kind of likes
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, the TV show is
Yeah, it was
coming out
really
shortly, if not already out when we're... No, it's going to be shortly. We're still figuring that out, right, Steven?
Yes.
Yeah, still figuring all that out, but it's... I've been sending it to a couple of people to watch, and it's good to hear that your wife, who doesn't know anything about photography,
Yeah.
most likely, enjoyed it.
Well, she said the interesting thing was that it wasn't so much that she even cared about the photography part. You were exploring a place and showing her that place, through completely different eyes, which
Yeah.
is kind of neat.
And that's what we're going for. We didn't want to
Yeah.
do a straight up photography show because it's a smaller market.
Right.
But if we do a show that encompasses travel, life, experiences, interviews through photography,
Yeah.
anybody can watch that because people love seeing awesome images and how they're made.
Right.
So it's going to evolve.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome back.
Thanks. Thank you.
It's been a while. You were on episode number 80 right here,
Right.
Stephen.
Wow.
Episode 80.
It's been a while.
They can click on that. You can go back and
You
see.
can click on that.
We were over on the our old setup over there, different lighting. Because I looked back, I was like, damn, look at this lighting.
Looks way different.
It does look
So
so.
we only had one light.
Did we?
Anyway.
We had the one big light.
One 4-banger.
Wow.
It's so funny to me because I look back on those shows and I'm like, man, I still wish I could just get that lighting. like watching Steven set this whole thing up amazes me every time. It's actually the only reason I come here because I want to
Get some production tips.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this, but I've watched you guys for almost 2 years now, and I see like the amount of work that goes into setting this up. This is not just like a small little thing. This
Not
is
at all.
like the floor's taped where everything goes, the cameras are set, like everything is to a T done.
Yeah. Well, that's all to
Right.
Steven. He likes being. He's into anal, so
That's
he
a-
makes it. He makes it.
Right, I got to get me one of those guys.
It's not easy because
Yeah.
I'm always looking. We are looking, but let me give people a little introduction on Matt here. Matt was introduced to my work how many years ago?
It's almost 2 years.
So about 2 years ago, a mutual friend of ours, actually, or a friend of a friend, said you should watch my stuff, and you weren't a photographer.
No.
So he wasn't a photographer, but they're like, you should probably consider doing this for your salon, right?
Yeah.
And so you have a channel called Free Salon Education.
Yes.
Is it also freesaloneducation.com?
Yep.
Okay, it tells you it's free, it's
Right.
salon, and it's education. So that's what he decided to do. So when he watched my early videos, he was learning how to do video, learning how to shoot photos or just really create content. And took my model, which is basically putting out a shit ton of content and shit ton of content consistently to build a following.
Right.
So we'll get back into it. So at the time at episode 80, which was over a year ago, you had 30,000 subscribers in 8 months.
Right. And we were psyched. That was
Well,
yeah.
It was growing.
Right.
And that's the point. And speaking of growing, you just passed 150,000.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels good, It's funny because I wanted to hit 100,000. That was like,
Did you get your plaque?
That was the goal. I got the plaque.
Did you get the $500 to B&H?
No.
They stopped doing that?
I think they stopped doing that.
Yeah.
And it was funny because they send you that little secret email through YouTube that says, if you click this, you'll get your plaque. Well, I was sitting there bitching for like 6 months saying I never got an email.
It was 3 years. It
And
was
then I
2
found
years
it.
for me when I missed it.
Really?
Well, because I didn't even know the email was
Right.
there. I was
Yeah.
like, but I don't use the Gmail account that this is tied to.
Yeah, so it's cool. I got the plaque. And then after that, I really just didn't, everything's gone so far beyond. And the way I look at subscribers is a little different too now. I mean, the subscriber number is great, but the core people that watch, which I know you guys, know that. You have however many subscribers, and you have that core of people that you know and you talk to weekly, and that kind of thing. That means a lot to me. And the people that it's a return on, you try to bring as much value as you can, and then in the end, those are the people that are supporting your business.
Sure. So let me interject here for anybody listening. Now, Matt is not a photographer, so it's not an interview about a photographer, but it's about somebody who's used video and the stuff that we've talked about on multiple shows and through multiple videos to help him grow a business and a brand. So it's definitely relevant to anybody that's a photographer or looking to get into any type of business that you're passionate about. That's what this talk is about. So it's not a photography-ish talk. It's a business, marketing, branding, which is useful whether you want to make money with your photography or something else, or you don't want to make money. This is just how you can get more jobs, more shoots, more everything, and that's what we're really diving into here. So are you happy with where you're at right now?
I don't think you're ever really happy. Like, you get to one goal but I've already thought of the next goal. When I get close to that, when I got close to 100,000 subscribers, it was like, well, what do we do? What are we doing with 100,000 subscribers? So, I think as we're pushing forward, and in every industry, like, I look to you guys when I first started because I was looking for, well, where can you take a YouTube channel? What is a YouTube channel? I just figured, I was doing step-by-step videos, putting them out. They weren't funny. They weren't fun. There was nothing really to grab people and connect them. And then when I saw your channel, that's when the light clicked. And my big thing over the last couple of years has been, you got to take inspiration from everywhere that you're at. So whether you're a photography channel and I'm a hair channel, I study everything that you're doing and I try to adapt it to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I look at one of your people that followed me from the last podcast. I put out, now I'm putting out a podcast on my own, not just with my team, just doing business tips. And they were like, this is very similar to what Gary Vee does. I'm like, well, of course it is. I watch Gary Vee. We all take inspiration from everything that we're doing, and that's so. When I look forward, and I'm, not happy with necessarily where I'm at, I'm really just trying to search and find what Free Salon Education's next thing is. What,
You're always evolving.
Yeah,
which is important. So, how has life and business changed for you since you started growing a following?
Well, it's completely changed. I mean, if you look at the last episode we were on, I was behind the chair doing haircuts 5 days a week. Now I'm behind the chair 1 day a week.
Does that hurt you that you've cut down?
No, my salon's grown 30% this year, and I've cut back to 1 day.
Now, has it grown because do you think that the website has helped?
Yeah, I think just like this, your FroKnowsPhoto.com probably grows you as a photographer because it builds your reputation. So in my town, we're known as the salon that has 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that brings a bigger reputation. So when you go on our salon website, you see that we're doing other things, not just cutting hair every day.
Have you outgrown your space?
Yeah. We're we're actually having a very hard time right now because we're in 900 square feet. I mean, we started this with a Canon 60D camera, 900 square feet, and 3 staff members, and it's grown to, we have 6 staff. We can't get any more than that. We're 2 months behind on clients, so we can't take anybody for 2 months.
What?
And yeah, it's crazy.
People need their hair cut.
I know.
Sorry, they need their hair did.
So this is what happened. So we started raising our prices because we needed to get rid of some of the clients to bring in
The higher
space.
end, right.
Yeah. So, we're at a weird spot right now, and we need space to, just like every week you guys set this up, we're setting up a podcast and hair videos and everything and breaking down equipment. So we need more room.
So do you want to stay in New Hope where you're at?
Well, I think the salon has to, and it's just convenient. My family's there, we have a kid, and so I think we'll stay in New Hope, and we're just waiting for the space to come.
Maybe you
available.
need to evolve or adapt a different style of a space.
Yeah.
Something that's not the normal.
Right.
Yeah, so something that you can have a shooting space, but still add extra chairs, so you can have the high end clients, but then you can also have some of the lower end as well.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the evolution of the whole thing. It's just figuring out how you can do it. So.
Well, that's always a good thing. How are you monetizing what you're doing right now? Not just the haircut. So you make money on haircuts,
Right.
How are you monetizing the YouTube end of it?
So YouTube, obviously we know YouTube doesn't pay you very well. So YouTube has never been, I would actually really love to just turn the ads off on YouTube, especially because of the new stuff that's going on. But I use that money that comes from the videos, and that's how I pay my team. So we have, that monetizes its own way, but we have sponsorships that really, I was flat out, and we've had this conversation before, that sometimes sponsor isn't the best way to go. But I found companies that are very supportive and let me just do whatever I do. And I throw in content based around their products, every once in a while.
Sure.
It's not constant. So that brings in revenue, but e-commerce is the big platform now. We sell scissors, which we did before, but scissor business has grown like crazy. We've come out with our own scissors.
All right. Yeah.
So,
Hold the thought on all the things, because he made a video on the difference between good scissors and bad scissors for cutting hair. One bends and tears at the hair, and the other, it just flows away. But how
Right.
much are those scissors?
$800.
Right.
So it's really educating people on why you would spend that much money.
Just like lenses.
Right. Exactly.
So your own scissors now, is it just the really good scissors
Same
branded
company.
with your?
Yeah.
So you've gotten a branded deal.
Yeah, built the relationship with them, and they're willing to. I come up with any kind of design based on their products, and so we came out with a gold scissor. We keep coming out with products. They sell out in 24 hours. We'll order 15. We'll sell 15 of them at $500, and they'll sell out in 24 hours. Like that's,
Wow.
And that's what I love, because the people that follow us are loyal to us, and so when we put out a product, they know it's quality.
What type of your viewership? Are they people that just like watching videos, or who are they?
So I think it's a little bit of everything, and that's why I don't take that 150,000 subscriber mark. I don't really think about that as they're not all hairdressers, So I think that there's, I call them normal human beings, but they're just people at home that like watching how to cut hair. I don't know. So we've kind of moved into the evolution of Facebook video. I do a lot more ad targeting through that, and actually uploading the video to Facebook so that I can direct go to hairdressers and salon owners.
Well, that's unbelievable targeting.
Right.
You have the ability to target. We target strongly on Facebook for certain things when we're promoting it, because you can, go to Lightroom.
Right.
And I can just target Lightroom users. There's 1 million people that like on Facebook that like Adobe Lightroom.
Right.
So I know that if you have Lightroom and you like it, you're probably a photographer.
Right.
And so for you to target these salons, what is your goal for targeting them?
Well, the goal is to educate them, and then through education, eventually we'll have a relationship and they'll buy products from us.
So have you come out with your own hair products as well?
No, I don't know. We haven't decided if that's something that, I'm never going to say never, but right now it's just such a saturated thing, and We haven't came out with a technology. Like nothing's really evolving in that way in the hair industry. It's just everybody puts a name on a shampoo bottle. So, but tools, combs, clips, education tools, doll heads, those crazy things. Yeah.
Nice. So are you getting more teaching gigs as well?
Yeah. I'm getting offered things, and it's funny because I do all the editing of all the videos and all the filming, and my staff's starting to get involved a little bit, but it's been one of those things where, it's been 2 years and I've edited every single video that's on there, right? So to go away, like I was talking to you, I was in Michigan speaking at an event, and I got, I ended up in 2 days worth of airport craziness, and delayed flights. So I didn't get any work done,
Yeah.
So I don't really like to leave my house at this point.
What are you getting paid for the speaking gigs?
Get paid, yeah. So, and getting paid well. And that's the funny thing. It's like the from the last video that we did together to now, it's just, this has really changed everything. It changes the way I think about everything. This is a business for me now. Before it was, just a hobby. Now it's a hobby and a business. So, it's working great.
Did you expect when you went into it, was that what you were going for? What was your goal when you started the YouTube channel?
So I worked for a hair care company, a large hair care company, and my goal with that company always was to be on a video. So they used to film these step-by-step DVD videos, and I always heard my friends that some of my friends got lucky enough to go film those videos, but it's, you're getting picked 1 out of 1,000 people, so that's all I wanted out of my career, was to be on those videos and travel and teach. And it never happened. I got, for 10 years, I worked hard. I did more classes than anybody. I thought it would happen, and it wasn't happening. So I decided, what, why don't we just start filming our own video? So we grabbed, a Canon T3 is what we had when we filmed our first video. And I spent the only $500 I had, probably shouldn't have spent that money. And, filmed the first step-by-step, did a voiceover, and it started to take off. And that's when, I never thought of freesaloneducation.com at that point. It was, my salon, educating, whatever. And then 3 months into it, when we started getting the subscriber base, it was like, all right, well, what's this going to be,
And then you figure out what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Because you have to decide, okay, we didn't know what we were doing, or I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I decided to make videos, and then hopefully those videos would translate into something.
Yeah.
And then your user base tells you where it should go. And that's exactly what it seems has happened. Now,
Yeah.
have you... Because I got this question here. Were there times where you didn't want to stick to the plan? Were there times that you thought that, what am I doing? I'm not seeing any benefit right now.
Put in so much work. I mean, I really do not stop. This is really the only thing that I do. So, there's been like low times, but I don't think there's necessarily been a time where I wanted to stop. I just, you just have to readjust things. There's definitely times where you're like, I don't feel like doing something, but I've always got the end goal in mind, and I really, I just keep pushing forward and trying to make it happen. So,
talk about competition on YouTube.
Yeah.
What are you starting to see in your line of work?
I think so. There's a few different ways. Like we talked actually on the last one as well, that if I wanted to, I could have a way larger subscriber base. And the way I would do that is I would put out a haircut every week, use a celebrity name behind that haircut, and say, hey, I'm doing the Jennifer Lawrence, whatever.
Which are your
haircut.
highest viewed videos right now.
Right. So, and when I first started the channel, that's what I did. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not gaining the real people that I'm looking for. Like I could have 500,000 subscribers probably if I would have kept with that track, because I was teaching people at home how to cut the Jennifer Lawrence haircut, because that's what they're searching, right? So I decided to go a little bit more core value and look at the fact that I want to gain as many hairdressers as I can, and YouTube's a hard platform because of the fact that it's so open to everyone. So right now there are people that are putting out videos every week that are using celebrity names and growing and have grown further than me. But I believe the reason that I have the following that I have, and I can put out a scissor and sell it out in a day, is because of those core people. And so there is a lot of competition now. Everybody's realizing that they can film their own videos.
Yeah.
There's probably a good 10 people that are blowing up, which is cool to see. So if education is becoming free, which hairdressers used to go to a class, they'd have to pay $1,000, and what are they really gaining from 2 hours of sitting there for $1,000?
So it's interesting to hear you talk about that, because I'm sure there's a dilemma in your head going, well, I want that number count to be higher.
Yeah.
But then again, are they the right viewers?
Right.
Because I sit there and do the same thing all the time as well and be like, I want more subscribers, but do I want to make a certain type of video that just brings people that aren't into photography or aren't photographers? So it's one of those dilemmas that you have. Do you think that if you did put out the celebrity thing, that it would somehow translate? Yes, you'd get more subscribers, and sometimes those more subscribers help you when it comes to getting those corporate gigs, because they look at the numbers.
They do.
Because they may look at the other people and be like, oh my God, your numbers are this big. It may get you more credibility to have more.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to grow it in a bad way, but maybe those people... So if you have larger numbers and you have people that are watching that may not be professionals yet, you may be able to create that product that you sell to them that turns into the, like, my beginner guide to getting out of auto.
Yeah.
You have the beginner free salon education, except it's not free because you're selling a little course. But would that be a possibility?
Yeah, I definitely think those things can happen, and we could do like quicker videos. Like I even think showing maybe celebrity hairstyles and teaching people how to do that would be a good way to go about it. But it's just, I think the beginner guide thing is cool. And I don't know with photographers, do photographers get upset at the fact that you teach people like people like me? Does anybody ever complain about that? I don't know.
I think there's the old school mentality of you're giving away your secrets, and you're creating more competition, which makes it harder for them to get jobs. But a lot more people in the photo world are teaching, offering classes and tutorials on how to do things. They don't even need to have a big following. People that have taken my beginner classes when I did them in person have started to teach their own classes.
I heard you guys talking about that a couple weeks ago.
I don't have a problem. I mean, honestly, I don't care what they think. The competition or the people that are saying, oh, you're giving everything away, because the people that will be upset, maybe schools and things like that, because school isn't the way that it used to be.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to school to be a photographer.
Right.
You don't need a piece of paper to walk out the door and get a job.
Yeah.
You just need photos that show that you're capable of doing what you are saying you can do.
And it's really amazing with photography, because watching you guys, like, you can learn so much, and then you just go adapt it and you try it and you fail, and then you keep trying different things. With hair, you have to have a license. So people spend $20,000 on that license. So
Is it really?
Yeah. So they get upset at the fact that, somebody at home might be doing that. But that's everybody has their own opinion on that.
So Joe Schmo's on the corner is cutting hairs for his friends. So what?
Right.
It's not taken away really from your business.
It's not. And I've never looked at it like that. Like, people are going to come to me for a reason, because it's a quality thing. There's nobody learning something in 20 minutes on a YouTube video and doing it better than somebody that has, if you've practiced.
So how can I help you? What questions do you have?
So, well, I think we actually talked about quite a few of them. I brought them up as we were going, but I think that, what do you think? So I know you shot the TV thing, right? And I know that you have thoughts of either TV or, so where do you think with YouTube right now, and the new platform and everything, where are we headed? Why would you even think about TV first? And then if you're not thinking about TV, then what is the deal with YouTube? And so let's say you put that out and then you put in advertising in that. Is that your thought process? Or
so the thought process is multifolded with the show. I think it's just easier to tell somebody that it's a TV show, but it doesn't have to live on TV.
Right.
We debated, or we have shopped around to different stations, but a lot of the things that we found is that we're probably better off keeping control.
Yeah.
I paid for it, self-funded it, self-produced it, took our team out there to make it happen. And I don't know that a TV channel can offer us very much right now.
Okay.
In the traditional TV world.
Right, yeah.
Because we don't need that traditional world. Now, if somebody like Amazon wants to pick up the show because we're getting traction and they want to put it on their streaming video, or a Netflix likes it, then those to me are a better place to be than unless you get History Channel or Discovery and they want to buy a couple seasons or a season's worth and then send you out to do the stuff, and they want to put promotions behind it. That's something that could work. Yeah. But for us, the thought process is that's a different piece of content that we can make that's episodic, that we can put sponsors in if we want.
Right.
Basically like 30-second spots, maybe 3 of them in an episode, depending on how long the episode is. But mostly it's fun for us to go and create this stuff.
Right.
And on top of creating it, you're not just left with one show. You're left with other pieces of content that we can use throughout the year or the months, just creating other types of videos from that.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Now you want to
so.
know where YouTube is going? Is that what you were...
Let's talk about that.
What do you want to know?
So I know the YouTube Red, right?
Yes.
We've my thing has never been, like I said before, YouTube's not. I never expect YouTube to pay me money, right? So I'm actually kind of excited for the fact that this could just push the ad thing. I mean, ad blocking is being launched as well, so I think ads aren't going to matter really that much on YouTube, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Ad blocking, I don't care.
Right.
You want to block an ad, you're going to block an ad. You're not going to block...
I can't wait to block an ad.
Well, what's going to happen is, with our types of videos, say RAWtalk, we don't have ads that run the pre-rolls and the post-rolls and the mid-rolls. We have real, actual things that we are putting out there in terms of... we're doing live reads. Not live reads, but we're adapting advertising for ourselves.
Yeah.
If you keep it organic, you keep it fun, the product placement stuff. So say somebody like Trojan comes along, that's probably a bad example, but say an alcohol company comes along and they've got a cool bottle, or they want to promote alcohol. Now, I don't really drink, so I'm not sure that I really want to promote something like that. But if we were to do a promotion, you put the bottle on the table. Oh my God. What's it from Josh Gad?
Huh?
You put the weed in the coconut to make the thing up. Yeah, that was funny movie. The Wedding Ringer.
Yeah.
Funny movie. That was funny. I love Josh Gad. Where was I going?
No idea.
Bottle?
Product placement.
The bottle.
Product
Yes.
placement.
So doing a photo shoot around how to light the bottle, how to do something like that. You can't block that.
We can just drink the bottle on the show. That's better.
That's something that you can do that I'm not worried. YouTube Red, if we make more money from YouTube Red, so be it. I don't think that the majority of people are going to buy YouTube Red.
Right.
I'd rather spend my $9.99 on Spotify, which is $10 and change with tax, or my $8.99 or whatever it is for Netflix.
Right.
I don't need YouTube original content because there's not going to be enough. I don't want to watch PewDiePie's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Me, personally. Maybe the big YouTubers may get that to happen, but you had... what is that? I can't even remember. Vessel, right? I can barely remember the name of Vessel's website. They got $70-some million, and their idea was to compete against YouTube by getting content out there 3 days earlier. But nobody wants to alienate their people to do that.
Yeah.
So where I think the advertising is going to more ways like what I do. Banner ads are dead. That type of placement is dead. It's organic placement.
Right.
It's like when we did the Apple Watch, we got lighting and stuff from Tether. So we got Tether Tool stuff and we got lights from ProPhoto. Just by mentioning it in there, that helps, and that can be the product placement. So that's the stuff that's going to live on.
Well, I think that's what I've loved, because I started reaching out to companies right away when I had 1,000 subscribers, and they laughed at me. And then, as you build up, you find a way. Like the scissors, I was just trying to get a free pair of scissors the whole time. I was like, I'll make a video. I was so excited. I just wanted one pair of $800 scissors. Never thought. And then you build a relationship with these people, and then they become big sponsors of everything that you're doing, and they support it because they understand it. My big challenge is I have the personality. I study everyone, right? So I studied you for a long time, and then I had to quit watching, because if I keep watching people, I start to become that person a little bit. So I have core things that I listen to when I'm running or whatever. So I have your podcast that I listen to. Gary V is something new. I was not a Gary V subscriber before. Had no idea that he was even on your show at one point. So then, but I start to actually, my mind flips and I start to kind of become that person a little bit, because you take inspiration from people, right? So I started making show videos when I saw how you were doing videos, and then you get that inspiration, and then finally it's like, all right, you got to kind of move on. Do you find yourself? Is there people that you watch that you do that? Because there's some people that say I don't watch anyone, right? And then there's people that take inspiration from other people. So
I'm aware of what others are doing,
right?
Because it's always frustrating when you see certain things that are either copying you or similar, or maybe I'm doing something similar to somebody else but didn't even know that was happening.
Right.
I try not to spend a lot of time looking at what other people are doing and focus on doing me. Do what I do, because it doesn't matter what they do. I don't need to copy what they do.
Right.
I don't want to copy what other people are doing.
Exactly.
Because I think in the photo community, I've evolved. When I came along, there were only a handful of people doing it, and they weren't really doing the things that I was doing.
Right.
And so I'm not doing the same thing that the other people are doing. So it's I'm aware of certain things, but I also try not to spend too much time looking at it, because you can go down that rabbit hole and it's just not good.
Yeah.
Because you have to focus on what works for you.
Yeah, and I find myself more like when I watch other people, like I don't watch my industry really at all anymore. I am aware, like you said, I start to see things through the feed, but it just it gets frustrating when you're watching people in your industry doing things. Either they came up with it before you thought of it, which is frustrating, or the other way around, you're doing it and now you're seeing other people doing it.
You can't worry about it.
No, you can't, but it's just kind of, it's one of those things where this is a tough thing, because I saw when you guys first brought Todd on, and and the sound effects and the crazy stuff, and and I have that haircut that blew up when I was here last time. It has 4 million views to this day, and I get ripped apart on a daily basis on that video. And it's a funny business, because you're putting yourself out there for free for no reason, and and then it's a vulnerability, I guess, as you're growing. So
It is. Yeah. What else you want to know?
I don't really know. We talked about.
Well, what's next for you in the next coming months? I don't like when people ask me questions like, what's your 5-year plan?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lay that out to you, but in the next couple of months, what are your goals with your site?
So in the next couple of months, I want to build our e-commerce brand. I've really been focused on that. And putting out more content. So my wife, who has been very supportive, she runs the salon business, has also jumped on board and is running the e-commerce side of what I'm doing. So I really want our e-commerce to work efficiently. I don't know how yours works, but quick, and make sure that we have always evolving products, and just creating a place where hairdressers can go and buy cool stuff, and good quality stuff.
Sure.
And there isn't a place on the internet for that right now. So that's my goal, is to keep growing that, building relationships with companies, and growing our video content. We're putting out about 6 videos a week now, all different types. So I have a show every week where I focus on one scissor. I tell everything about that scissor, and then I run a sale for that week on that scissor, so they get a good price on it, just to educate people about different metals and all that. And then, I have a business podcast. We have our podcast. We're putting out step by step.
You have multiple podcasts?
Well, I have just one with me, where I answer questions from our followers.
Okay. Are you doing that on video as well?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Everything you do is doing the same thing. You put out the video, you put out the audio.
Yeah. And it's, it's funny because with like that, it's simple because it's just one camera angle, quick content. It's really just, I want to answer questions from the people that actually are following.
And are they doing well, those videos?
Yeah. I mean, our podcast is there's not a hairdresser podcast anywhere. So that's definitely new territory, and no one's copying that, because, it's a lot of work to do a podcast, right? So we definitely have the podcast market in the hair world. It's just not a very popular one. I mean, we get maybe 1,600 views a week. So, but they're core people that want to watch a hair podcast. So I guess, you have to be grateful in the fact that 1,600 people want to watch
Sure.
a show.
So what scares you about what you're doing?
You know, I've always tried to set myself up with this whole business as if all of it was gone tomorrow, I still have the hair salon, you know, and I still have our clients and I still have my staff. So it doesn't really scare me that I would, from a losing standpoint, but I do love, I don't want to disappoint anybody that's involved in the whole thing. So I think that's probably the scariest part, is just trying to figure out what can I do next to propel this thing forward. And I don't want to fail anyone,
right,
including myself, my family, whatever, which I don't think anyone would really care. They'd probably like it more because they'd have more time, you know, to hang out with me. But I want this thing to be successful. I don't even know what that means, you know?
Yeah, no, I understand.
But because a lot of people would probably say it is already, but you know, in my mind, I know where I want it to be.
So if you had to leave some information, some tips for people looking to build whatever they want to build, what are some tips that you can leave people with at home?
So I think the biggest thing that I have taken from the whole journey so far is you have to be, if you want to grow a business, I think the free part is the number one thing. You have to bring something to the table first. So I've spent 2 years putting out free content, teaching hairdressers, and I always want that to be free. And I think that we're in a world now where you could try to charge for things, but people are going to find it for free anyways.
Right.
So I don't believe that any haircut that I'm going to do, people should have to pay for. But if I do my job correctly, I can inspire you and make you understand. So as you're growing a business, if you're trying to grow a business, I think you just have to think about the person that you're trying to target, or the audience you're trying to create, and take care of them, like their family, you know, and then from that, they will support you in everything that you're doing. Yeah. And I think it's just all about relationships, whether it's sponsors or people or, you know, people that you meet, whatever. It's all about building relationships to move forward, I think.
Yeah, so. It's the relationships are important. The free is important, and people will sit there at home going, well, I'm a photographer. What am I supposed to give away? Not saying give away your work for free, but give information. Like you can educate. If you are educating your consumer, the people that you want to hire you, if you are going to educate them, you educate them on what makes the right photo shoot, what makes the best photo, what makes the best X, Y, and Z. So for portrait, what are the best questions? What are the questions you should be asking your portrait photographer? What are the questions that you would, you know, what are the best photos right now, or what are the best poses for those type of things? People will see that in your social sphere. It's not saying that you need to make YouTube videos for the hopes that you're going to teach the world. You're trying to educate your customer. And if you educate your customer, then they look to you as being the authority in that field, and then they're going to hire you when they want to hire you. So that's how you can take all of this information and make it your own for getting more jobs, no matter what you're doing. I mean, that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand, is that photography isn't, 95% of photography is not shooting photos. It's 5% of the time you're doing it. The rest is business, trying to, you're doing taxes, you're doing the legwork, you're doing all of those things that lead to the end goal of shooting. So you just have to find ways to educate your customers, and when you educate them, they will come knocking on your door.
Yep.
So
that's so true. And I shot a wedding because, so you end up being the friend with the camera, right? And I'm
just like, Todd, did you shoot at 12,800?
I would never show you the photos ever, but I did. So a client of ours at the salon, she was having an outdoor wedding, right? And she said, you have cameras, would you mind shooting my wedding? So at this point, I have I started with the 60D, then I bought the 7D, then I bought the 70D, then I bought a 6D. So I have the 70 to 200 lens that I got at Allen's, and the 24 to 105. So I was packed and loaded, but it doesn't really matter what you have gear-wise if you don't understand, like if you can't quickly, this is what I learned about photography. If you can't quickly figure things out on the camera, that's what a real photographer is. But I just want to say that your job is hard. and I appreciate your job.
Thank you.
Because it's not an easy thing. I haven't seen Todd's photos, but
We did
Worst photos ever.
one of the podcasts a couple of weeks ago. We critiqued live the photos from a wedding that he shot.
Oh, you did?
So go back and check
okay,
that.
I'll
It's probably
check it.
4 or 5 episodes ago.
Okay.
So
All right.
thank you for
But,
coming in.
Thank you for having me. I know I'm not a photographer, but I've learned a lot from you guys, and it's always a pleasure being here. And
Well, that's the point, is that you've taken the model that I've put out there and actually followed through with it and
Yeah.
continue to follow through, and now you're learning how to adapt it for your own.
Yeah.
I have no problem with you going back and being like, oh my God, you do this, this, and this, and you've basically did follow in those footsteps.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. That's the whole point. Put this stuff out there. You've become successful. You get more jobs. Your salon you need to move it because you don't have enough chairs to put enough people in because you had to raise your prices also.
Right.
You're getting corporate sponsorship deals. You're getting your own product deals. You're going and speaking to different people, which means you're not going to be speaking just to hairdressers, but you may start getting internet marketing things because people want to know. You said you were doing consulting.
Yeah, I do a
know
lot
that's
of that, yeah.
a story for another day, but you're doing consulting for companies on social media.
Yeah.
So that stuff's insane. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you for
Yeah,
coming in.
thank you.
If you missed the first episode that you were on, it's episode 80. You can find it. I'm assuming it's FroKnowsPhoto.com/RAWtalk-80 if I've been following the proper model of titling my shows. But a lot's changed from 30,000 to over 150,000 subscribers in not too long of a time.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
thank you very much.
Yep. So that was a cool interview.
It's amazing what he's done in just, a little more than 2 years? His
Yeah.
brand that he built.
A little
It's
over 2
crazy.
years with the idea of giving away free education about salon, not knowing where it was going to take him, but finding his path.
And the fact that there's that industry there. Like, who would have thought that there's an industry for salon free education type videos? You know what
There's
I mean?
an industry for everything.
Every little niche you can think of.
Right. So just talking to him, like the scissor sales and the fact that he's consulting other brands out there. They're asking him, how should we do our social media? He's built this thing. And so he went from 5 days a week cutting hair to 1 day a week cutting hair. He still loves it, but he loves the business stuff
does.
too.
Now, he's done this himself, but I also think this speaks to everybody out there that is a photographer or a videographer, because there are experts in every town and city where you live. And you could very easily make extra money by like, hey, why don't you put your expertise on a YouTube channel to help build your business? Like, it's a great pitch for people that are maybe just listening to the show as photographers and videographers and things of that nature. It's a perfect way to pitch and a perfect guy to use an example. Like, look, build your business like
It
this.
is, yeah. I'm shocked that he has time to do all this.
Well, he
running
said,
the full salon and
Cocaine.
cutting hair and
but he has some employees. But the thing that he said is the hardest to find is somebody like you, not so
Like
much
a production
Todd,
person.
but somebody like you,
because
who's-
he's currently editing and doing everything right himself.
yeah.
God bless
Yeah.
him.
That's why I gave him the
a lot.
recommendation of hiring
Does he
somebody.
want to edit an editing guide?
That's why I gave him the recommendation of he'll need to hire somebody who takes that role.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy on him. But knowing what he's done and just showing that, Jesus, man, he wasn't even a photographer or a video guy and figured it out
Yep.
and built a following. And you have a leg up out there. If you know if you know photos and video, you already have a leg up to do what Todd was saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's get to gear of the week.
Yeah, let's do it.
So gear of the week, I got a text this morning from my FedEx guy. Actually texted me, which
You
is
guys are
great.
friends?
Well, no, he just lets
Like
me
you know
know.
his name?
Was
or
it another dick
Do
pic?
you have it on your phone like FedEx guy?
I actually didn't have his name in my phone, so I had to go back through the text to just see who it was. But it's like, hey, you have 2 packages downstairs. Well, it's great
nice
because
that you did that.
What's great is that the UPS guy and the FedEx guy do that because we're
Do you
in.
tip them during the holidays?
I was
I
just
do.
going to say you
Okay.
should.
So the UPS guy, last time I saw him at the end of the holidays or before the holidays last year, I'm like, hey, can I get your email?
Here's $1.
Got his email, and I gave him a $100 gift card.
and some peppermints.
$100.
Here's some cookies.
I emailed a $100 gift card to Amazon
Wow.
because
That's great.
we get a lot of expensive stuff sent to
Yeah.
us. I'm in a building where they have to get into the front door, so they know that it's secure in here. And sometimes I'm not around to sign for the package, but they know that it's in a secure area, and they may just go ahead and do that. Now they
Yeah.
won't do it with any Apple products. The Apple Watch, they would. I had to physically be here to sign that, and same with the
I
computer.
wonder if that's a deal what they have with
Well,
Apple or something.
It's just that it's probably really strict with that.
yeah, because
so,
that's probably the most stolen item.
So the FedEx guy, I got a text early this morning, and he's like, I got 2 boxes downstairs. I'm like, is this something from Sony? Because we know Sony's sending us RX 100 Mark IV.
Yeah.
So Sony's sending us that to play with. So I thought maybe that's what it was.
What's in the box?
Yeah. And so I went downstairs and I was like, what?
It's a giant box.
I'm like, that's
finally the real doll got here.
Definitely a dead body.
$5,000. Would you spend $5,000 for a real doll?
It depends if it had all the bells and whistles.
Todd's already spent $5,000 on that.
He's like, well,
my other one might get jealous, but
so you could see the box on the other angle. That is a huge box.
That is giant.
I was like, what is this? And then I saw that it said CUSA on it, which was Canon USA. Inside the white box is their new printer. They just announced their new printer, which is the Image ProGraph.
Oh, the brand new one. Nice.
The Pro 1000, which is what, $1,300.
Yeah. Their
so-
L series printer.
Yeah, because it has a red line
pretty
around
cool.
it.
Does
So
it
I think it has
really?
12 inks, 17 by 22. Joe, you want to grab me some of the paper, please? No clogged nozzles is what they're talking about. I think it has something to do with like vacuum sealing. I need to study and research it more.
Printers confuse me.
But the one thing that they said that is great with theirs, and I read it on their site, is that it doesn't have to waste ink when it switches away from, say, light black to glossy black or something.
Doesn't have to like flush the.
So it doesn't have to flush it, where
Wow.
with the Epsons, you're losing an ounce of ink every time you switch over. So this has the no clogged nozzle type thing, which Joe could probably use for his nose. Joe, what are you doing? Don't open it. Did I say open it, Joe?
God damn it, Joe, do as you're told.
Why would I want the paper out of it? It's just white. Gosh, Joe.
Damn it, Joe.
I can't dress you up and take you anywhere. This is 17.
What are you holding it there, bro? Hold it here. The camera angle stops right
It's just so big.
there. Oh my god.
That's how he holds his news anyway, or how he holds the
Guys,
newspaper.
I just got the new iPad Pro in today. What do you think?
Oh man, the iPod Pro number 10.
Holy Jesus. I would actually use
So
that.
what size is this? 'Cause this
17
is-
by 22.
That's just such an odd size.
Hold on, for our foreigners, it's 43 by 56 centimeters. There's 25 sheets. This is Photo Paper Pro Luster.
heavy.
Well, there's 25 sheets in it. It's not your brother, but so this is one. What other papers? Just Joe, can you go back to the box? Don't open it. Don't open it.
Open
Just
it
tell me
all.
what some of
Just
the other
throw
papers.
it everywhere.
And don't look me in the eyes.
There's a Sharpie right on it.
What other kind of papers are in there, Joe? Semi-gloss, premium matte, and that's it. That's it. 3. That's it. All you Canon people did was send me 3.
It's 75 sheets. You'll use that.
I know.
In like 10 years.
All right, so
Not 75.
my goal with the review for this is to like fill the floor with prints here.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I can't wait to print with it.
I'm not filming that.
Yeah, you are. You're fired.
Damn it.
All right, Joe, get the wheel.
So you're gonna
Please.
just print out like 60 prints and spread them all over the place?
like the picture from Misterwives.
Yeah,
Do I
yeah.
want the color? Do I want the black and white? And I'm going to print them both. We're going to print out concert stuff. We'll print out portraits. We'll print out nothing that Todd shot because I don't
Actually,
think it's
we should to test out high ISO.
12,800. No, I'm not wasting ink on that.
I know.
I am not wasting ink on that. See what I love.
Can you hear me now, Todd?
I actually a
yourself.
couple weeks ago to the episode.
Oh, thank you.
And I hear I don't hear everything that Todd says.
I never hear half the stuff he says.
And then
'Cause he talks like this when we're just talking normally.
Because
And then he
he-
screams real loud.
Well, I picked up on things that he said that I found to be hilarious.
Oh, they're really funny.
He said something about Joe. Was Joe here or not here? But it was something like, something about his college education.
Oh, yeah, I congratulated him on working at the selling beer
Oh yeah,
Said you go to
after
college?
graduating college.
yeah, that was funny. Anyway, it's time for the Wheel of Fro.
Which, by the way, doesn't Matt Beck have his own wheel too?
Yeah,
Wheel
so
of Fro?
Matt Beck. I'm watching
What
one
does
of
he
his.
call it?
Really?
I wonder what
So
does he
check
call
this
it?
out. I'm watching one of his
Wheel
episodes.
of Fro.
His is cool
TM.
looking, dude. It looks like it glows in the dark or
Yeah,
something.
well, he had it designed a certain way. It's
pretty cool.
I was watching one of his episodes, and I'm like, he has a wheel. So I texted him like, I see you have a wheel. Where'd you get it? He's like, oh, I called the place that you got it, and I said I want the same wheel that Jared has.
it's the same size too,
It's the
right?
same size. He's
Everything.
like, and he said, if it works for him, then I want the same thing, and that's cool.
That would have been great if they said the
should have had him
same
sign an
exact
NDA.
wheel. they sent him like a Fro wheel and everything.
So what's it? Spin. Joe, go read the back of the wheel. Tell me who it's from again. what website?
I forget.
Spin Doctors.
And we found out about it from Adorama, right?
I was at
At the
Adorama
expo?
at the expo. They had, what's it called, Joe? Spinning Designs what? .com? Just Google Spinning Designs, like
.org,
wheels.
.net.
Pretty cool stuff. Spinningwheels.com. Awesome freaking wheels. Liked working with a small mom and pop company, but they make these freaking awesome wheels. And yeah, Adorama Picks had the 96-inch one, which is like 4 times the size of this.
Huge.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine how much that one cost.
It's like Wheel of Fortune.
It costs
really,
a lot.
yeah.
And I also could have gotten lights on this, LEDs that blink.
Ah, dude, you should have decked
What?
it out.
Too expensive, and I didn't think it would be cool enough. I thought it would be overkill. It looked like it was going to give me not dyslexia, but seizures.
Yeah, what's it
Yeah.
called? Whatever that
Seizures.
is.
They're called seizures.
No, but what's it called with that disease?
Seizures.
It just means you can't
Epileptic.
play video games, though.
That's what I'm
Epilepsy.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we tell you what's on the wheel before we spin it? Rode microphone, spin again, black hole, Adorama Picks, Fro Prize, Think Tank Photo, audioblocks.com/go/Fro, Lexar, the official card of RAWtalk. Which
Oh,
we've
look.
been
Glad
using
you
a ton
changed
of-
the next one.
Hoya!
Oh, yeah.
What?
Change the freaking
What?
sign.
I need to order that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Joe's
I told you
fault.
last week.
Well,
to
you
order
got a
it.
printer
And the
now,
week
too,
before
though.
that.
We have a printer. We could print that. Maybe we could put the Canon prize as a printer. Maybe we'll give away a printer. We'll put that in the big hole.
That would be a pretty awesome prize.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah.
Can I win it?
Hoya Road ? Borrow lenses Fro Prize.
Can I get your bag?
Squarespace.com/go.
Can I get your camera back?
No, squarespace.com/fro. Videoblocks.com/go/fro. Get your 7-day free trial. No credit card needed until the 14th. It's over. Lexar, Black E-Rapid, and that is it. Time to spin the wheel of Fro. How about them apples?
How about them
About
apples?
that.
Spin! Oh, nice thrusting you got going on there. Are you pumping and dumping?
I'm pumping and dumping. Around and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody really knows. The Wheel of Fro is about to stop on an amazing prize
Amaze
from
balls.
Squarespace. Woo! And there it is, Squarespace. So congratulations to somebody next week. We're going to give 2 prizes away next week when we
yeah.
do Flying
I didn't think
Solo.
about that.
That's how we do it, Steven. That's how we do it here at FroKnowsPhoto.
We haven't done it in a while.
Yeah. So that's how we do it. Congratulations, some of you. You're winning Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/fro to get your 14-day free trial. Use the code FRO at checkout. I like it. You love it.
Best website ever.
All right. So what else did I have here? Any hashtaggy stuff this week?
No hashtags this week.
Pump and dump?
Pump and dump.
Hashtag pump and dump.
At
If you made it
FroKnowsPhoto,
this far.
hashtag pump and dump if you
Yep.
made it this far.
Oh,
I want to
God.
see hashtag pump and dump. Make sure you hit at FroKnowsPhoto. And yeah, we'll call that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's RAWtalk episode number 157. You get all the photo news and more over at FroKnowsPhoto.com/RAWtalk-157. Anything else that you would like to add?
That is it.
Todd?
No, let's go.
Steven? Joe?
Sam?
Joe? No, you going to get your freaking cough fixed?
He said
Yeah, right.
Good,
Yeah.
you don't have a fucking mic, so shut the fuck up.
Pump it, hashtag pump and dump. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.